Listen, man, the apologies are coming out. The apologies are coming out. People are trying to clean up their act. Listen, this is Dr. Rashad Richey. This is an intelligent man, a thinking man. But sometimes thinking men could be very stupid, dumb, okay, unreasonable, and unthoughtful. I hate to say this, but it's true. People make mistakes. And sometimes when people make mistakes, we got to find in our hearts to forgive them. But do you forgive an institution? Do you forgive an ideology? If there is an ideology, could you forgive that ideology? When Jesus speaks about forgiveness, is he talking about forgiving an entire institution or an ideology? Or is he talking about forgiving each other as individuals? I'll let you answer that. But just in case you don't remember the story, I'm not editing this video. We're going to go unscripted here. This is what Dr. Richey said about this woman. He called her a Karen because she supposedly had stolen the bike of black men, 4 black men in New York City. She was a thief. They referred to her as a pregnant thug. Listen, defame her character. This stuff wasn't right. I'm going to let you hear part of what they've said, and then I'm going to give you his apology. I'm going to react. It's a 9-minute video. I'm going to listen to what he has to say. I'm not editing this video. We're going to go straight to the heart of the matter and listen to these men talking. Okay, now, this is the situation, right? I did a video about this. This is the lady.
Please help me, help!
I'm sure you might have heard about this situation by now.
Yo, don't take it, bro. Now you're not getting the bike, bro. Now you're not getting the bike, bro. Help!
Dr. Richey went on his channel and called her a Karen.
I have the full background on this Karen. The Karenicity is unbelievable. Put up the picture. We got her name, where she works, her boss. You know, she said, and I quote, "You are hurting my fetus, my unborn child." Did you all hear that part? She said that. Why did she say that?
Because she was pregnant, my man. Because she was pregnant. But no, he's got another interpretation for you. Listen.
Because that bolsters her argument to do what she's attempting to do.
That was stupidity. Let's keep going. He brought another person. It looks like this is a mayor or some sort, but he went on with these men are talking without facts, making this poor woman look dumb, stupid, and evil. You have to understand, when they do this to a person, that can destroy the entire person's character, reputation, livelihood. That's not a small matter. There is a culture today called the cancel culture. There is the woke mob today. When you put information out there like that about an individual, that destroys their lives, their home, their entire livelihood can be taken away just like that. For you to speak like this without common sense, without all the facts, shame on you.
By a pregnant thug.
When are you gonna?
What did he say? You hear that?
Art was used to pull this bike out of the system. Was attacked by a pregnant thug.
When are you
Stupidity.
gonna get an answer, sir?
But here's the lawyer. The lawyer came on and said this.
We are going to get an answer when we start filing defamation lawsuits.
Boom. There we go. Defamation lawsuit is coming.
Wow, it's going to go to that. You
Well,
feel that
the
your
media
client's been defamed.
Without question. She's been called a racist. She's been called a thief. There are reasons defamation laws exist, and we plan to pursue that.
Came to find out the girl was completely innocent. She had the receipts. The young black man was in the wrong. And guess what? Now Mr. Richey came back with another video. He has to clean up his mess. We're going to react to that now. Let's listen to what he has to say. And I'm going to talk about forgiveness a little bit here. I'm going to keep my comments really short. But let's listen to Rashad Richey, Dr. Rashad Richey, talking about the situation, trying to clean up his mess. Let's listen to this.
The story has already been updated. The updated version is still available, and the original reporting was taken down. I want to provide context and a direct examination as well as provide an apology. Let me put up the picture full mass. Last week, 35 million individuals viewed a video. It was viral. This video showed a woman screaming help and black males around her disputing about a bike. Well, in that, there were two narratives. One narrative was to believe the young people. The other narrative was to believe the adult. In that instance, I believed the young person.
Why? Why did you do that? Why would you believe the young person instead of her story without the facts? You should not have believed either of them. You should have waited for more. But no, you could not wait, and that was a problem.
I still believe that there's a good faith reason why both possibly believed that they actually had access to that bike.
Come on, man.
At no point did I ever believe that the young black male was trying to rob the female in question.
How do you know that? This happens all the time. It happens all the time. Okay, this was one of those videos that came out. You can't make statement like this. You making it look like these young black men just don't rob white women. Like, what are you talking about, bro? This is not a good thinking. Again, I'm waiting for the apology. Let's keep listening. This is a problem. You putting a nice picture. You coloring the situation. We don't need your color. This is a time when you come and be a man and be honest about your position and apologize. Stop trying to establish context. The context was you didn't wait for the facts. You spoke too soon and you were probably racially motivated. That happens. And some of you refuse to acknowledge how racist you are.
But now it has been reported that there's a receipt showing she had a good faith reason to believe that the city bike was hers. Naturally, that information has not been rebutted nor confirmed at all by the others involved. We're still waiting for an update. Also, City Bike has not confirmed, at least at this point, how this could have happened where two individuals possibly believed that they both rented that same bike.
It wasn't that complicated, my man. The City Bike didn't need to put a statement out there. Her receipt does not need to be rebutted. People were saying her receipt is fake. That's a lie. The thing is, this woman was being used and abused and approached in a wrong way. They were looking to be famous. They were looking to make a TikTok video out of her, and things didn't work out as they planned. That's why they don't show up. These young black men were up to no good. That's why they will not show up to justify their position, because there's no justification of their position. They were wrong. Why don't you just blame the black men for their reaction? Why don't you point out how we as black people, we can be wrong? We need to aim at that. Stop playing this game. Stop it.
At the same time, over 35 million views, well over 100 publications covered it, and there were two narratives. My advocacy was connected to their youth, not their race.
Oh, give me a break, bro. Give me a new. I cannot believe this man. And I'm one of those guys. I truly believe in forgiveness and second chances. I advocate that. I preach it. But I hate this. This is hypocrisy. You're gonna say your advocacy was connected to her youth, to their youth? What? You serious, my man?
And there were two narratives. My advocacy was connected to their youth, not their race.
Are you saying young people don't do crimes? Because they're young, they must be right? Who are the criminals? Who are the most belligerent criminals in our society right now? There are young people. Do we need to condemn and demonize them all the time? No, I don't believe that. I believe we should communicate with them, talk to them, and intervene and show them the right way. But at the same time, these are the youth that are robbing in New York City. The drill rappers today, majority of them who are committing crimes in New York City and many other places are young people. In Chicago right now, teen take over and they are hurting families and stores and businesses. Who are doing this? Young people. So stop acting like young people can't do wrong, brother. What do you mean you're advocating for their youth? I understand young people do dumb stuff. But One of the ways you deal with that is by aiming and pointing at it as being dumb and stupid so that they can change. But what you guys do, you justify their behaviors because they're black. That's the problem.
There was also a statement from the hospital that called the incident disturbing. I want everyone to know that
the hospital was just as wrong too. They should have never dealt with her that way, but they're afraid of the mob. They're afraid of the mob. And I hope she sues the hospital too.
my advocacy was not in bad faith. It doesn't mean that it wasn't wrong. It doesn't mean
it wasn't bad faith, my man. You see, I would respect you a lot more if you were honest. I would respect you a lot more if you were honest. The only reason this apology video is coming out is because you know there's a lawsuit coming. There's a defamation lawsuit coming your way, and the lawyer is not playing. You really believe in your heart of heart a pregnant white woman is gonna fight with 5 black teenagers over a bike? You promoted that. My man, what is wrong with you, my man? What is wrong with every one of us who think this way? Whatever happened to common sense, my man? What are we doing here? So you really believe a white woman crying help or her tears is hurting black people? What? Stupidity. Unthoughtful. Unreasonable. And these are people who should be thinkers of our society.
that the youth operated in bad faith either. Possibly there's an explanation why both believed they were in fact entitled to that particular bike.
Oh, stop it.
I say that to highlight a reality here, okay? I'm a zealous advocate. I've always been a zealous advocate.
There's also zeal without knowledge. You can be zealous without the facts, okay? It's okay to be zealous. It's okay to be enthusiast. It's okay to believe your story, but you better believe the truth, though.
Continue to be so. But I'm not Fox News.
What does that mean? What does that even mean? You see, this is why I have an issue with this apology video. I'm all about forgiveness, my man. I'm a Christian. I believe in the forgiveness of sin. I believe we should forgive each other. I preach that on my channel. As a matter of fact, my whole channel is about, listen, guys, let's put the racism talk aside. Let's love each other. We have a lot more in common. I do this all the time on this channel. I'm about bringing people together. But when you're doing stuff like this, talking about Fox News, what does Fox News have to do with this, my man? My man, this is your problem. Rashad Richey, if you ever see this video, you got to take ownership for your own mistake, my man. Don't point your finger at anybody else. Look at yourself and say, woe is me. I made a mistake here. I messed up. I'm going to clean up my behavior. This is how you take care of business. Fox News. What does Fox News have to do with this?
Been a zealous advocate, will continue to be so. But I'm not Fox News.
Oh, my. Come on. You should have never said that.
Presented with evidence that shows, well, at least contrary to the overall conclusion that somehow she knew she did not have access to that bike. Well, that's not true if the receipts are real. She believed she had access to the bike. So for that matter, to the woman who was in the middle of this, I submit to you my apologies as a man. Now, I do not like the fact that you screamed, help me.
You can't do that. You can't do that. You cannot apologize and still throw shade at this woman. The only reason this apology is coming from you and from these people on TYT, these people, I'm telling you, some of the most ridiculous statement, propaganda, deception, racist comments are made by these guys right there. TYT, what's his name? Who girl? What's his name? Forgot how to say his name. But anyway, Anna Kasparian. Oh my goodness. They are just promoting that stuff all the time, every time, and it's old. So when they come with an apology video, I can tell you it's not coming from a heart of love. I'm sorry, really. This is happening because I have no other choice. A lawsuit is coming. I got to do something. I can't. If there was no lawsuit, you will never have taken it back, in despite of the facts. For example, when this man made a video about Ron DeSantis banning books, African American history books, LGBT queer person books in schools, because Ron DeSantis is a white supremacist, even though he's not even white. Ron DeSantis is a fascist. He's a racist. These were things that he said on his channel. I listened to the whole thing. And I went and did my research. Ron DeSantis was not been in the books. He was removing pornographic content from children's library. That is a huge difference. The facts came out. Ron DeSantis had a whole 48 minutes where breaking it down, the reason he was doing this. He never apologized. He never said, I'm sorry. The only time these people apologize is because their job is on the line. There's a lawsuit coming. There is something brewing. Otherwise, they do the same thing that they do.
When you were not being robbed, I still have an issue with that.
You can't say that about her. She had to respond the way that she could to protect herself. She was the one going through her situation. You weren't there. You don't know what that feels like to be a white woman and pregnant and live in New York City, knowing the tendencies and the crimes in New York City, and you have 4 black males around you. You're gonna sit back and expect her to just not say a thing? Brother, give me a break.
As a man. Now, I do not like the fact that you screamed, help me, when you were not being robbed. I still have an issue with that. I don't like the people who are saying all over social media that these young black men were trying to rob the woman in that moment. I do not believe that's what happened. Still don't believe that's what was happening. I believe that they both believed that they had access to that city bike. And until we have additional information, well, that's where it's at now. But I want to make it very clear. What we do here is opinion commentary. Sometimes that opinion can be incorrect.
Just wait for the facts, my man. I'm done with him. You see that apology video? It's fake. I don't believe it. I'm all about forgiveness. I'm all about forgiveness. I preach it in this channel. I believe God is a forgiving God. I believe we should be forgiving each other. But there are some individuals, they are not sorry. That's not what sorrow looks like. You don't say I'm sorry and still blame the woman. You don't say I'm sorry and still justify the behaviors of those black men. You don't say I'm sorry and you refuse to acknowledge the fact you didn't wait for the facts, for the rest of the story to be told. You don't say I'm sorry and you're still trying to polish your own behavior and character. Come on, man. You don't do that, my man. You don't do that. I have an issue with people who does this. Don't get me wrong, man. It's human nature. I get it. It's shameful to come down here and having to wipe your face in front of the public because you didn't wait for the facts. I know it's shameful. And I know sometimes it's difficult to do that as a human being. But that's what has to be done. And I really hope this woman, she sues and she wins. She doesn't hold back. She doesn't go around saying, I'm just going to let it go. Listen, give them the Bud Light treatment. You know what the Bud Light treatment is? You treat them like the conservative was doing to the Bud Light. You bankrupt them. Why? Because it's an institution you're dealing with. You see, if this was a one-on-one mistake kind of individual kind of thing, I will accept it. I will agree with it. I mean, there's been time where I will say, even if a person murders one of your family members and they come with true forgiveness in their, they come with sorrow in their hearts, I will say forgive them even when it hurts. Because I believe in the power of forgiveness. God is forgiving God. These people, TYT, and these cast members over there, they ain't sorry because they got it wrong. They're sorry because they're trying to cover their own cojones. They're trying to cover themselves. They don't want the lawsuit to come their way. They're sorry because they do not want defamation lawsuit knocking on their doors. This could destroy the channel. That's why they're sorry. If there was no lawsuit, they would just go on and do what they do and keep on tricking, lying, and deceiving people. When you are sorry, you change your ways. When you are sorry, you change the system. And this is my issue with this. When you're coming under the title TYT, apologizing for this is because probably somebody at the top and experience says, brother, you better clean that thing up because we're in trouble. Now you got to come and clean it up. The only reason you're probably sorry is because you do not want to get a lawsuit. You do not want to have to pay the price. And I really hope she pushes on with this lawsuit and wins every single penny. So you guys can learn a lesson about respecting people. Learn a lesson about valuing people. Stop playing racism. Stop it. You can't treat a person like that just based on a video. You can't do that. That is wrong. It's best you stay quiet and say, I heard about this story. I'm not sure. I'm going to wait for the facts. There's a lot of questions that I have. I don't have all the answers yet. I choose to wait. That's what you should have done. But you've done this so over and over again to people. You have not learned from your mistakes. And you have an institution. You have an ideology that is motivating this. And in some cases, I'll go as far to say, some of these men, they are racist, my man. We're looking at some racist black men. They look like they love black people and caring for black people, but they're justifying black people's behaviors that are wrong all the time. And they demonize every person who is white. If he's a cop, if he's a white person, all day long, they want to point out the sin of everybody else while they justify the corruption of black people. That's a problem. We need to be balanced with the thing. Love both and expose both. That's how I stand. Don't get me started. So listen, man, like I've said before, I'll say it again. I'm all about the forgiveness of sin. I'm all about pardoning people, but I have an issue with pardoning an institution of a thinking and mentality. The woke culture do not forgive. The woke culture is cruel. They are mean. They are evil. They don't have mercy for anybody. And that's part of my issue with them. It's like when they go after a person, they will do you wrong. And God is a forgiving God, man. And I believe in the forgiveness of sin. But I have an issue with forgiving an institution. I have an issue with forgiving a mentality. Because a lot of people, they talking about forgiveness, but they themselves are unwilling to forgive. Why don't you forgive Caucasian people whom you've demonized in your channel all the time? Come back and take back some of these words and those videos that you've done people wrong. Forgive that. You're not serious. He that heareth a matter before he heareth it, he that answereth the matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him. You should have waited before you get the rest of the story. That's the point. Death and life is in the power of the tongue. They that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. You use your tongue to speak life into this woman's life. You spoke evil into her life. That wasn't right. That wasn't right. That was evil. That was wrong. That was wrong. He that covereth his sin shall not prosper, but whoso confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy. This is my point right there. You see, confessing your sin is one thing. That is good. I'm sorry. I should have not done that. But look at the next word here. Forsaketh. You see, some of these people, they're not willing to forsake. They will say, I'm sorry, but they will go back to do the same thing. Next time, they will just be smarter about it. They ain't changing their culture. They're not changing their behaviors. No, that's my problem. And that's why I don't believe this apology was genuine. I want nothing to do with it. Listen, I hope and pray he learns from his mistake and change his ways. And I really hope and pray that the city by Karen, as they style her, she sues and she wins. That's my position on that. That's my position on that. And if the man is really sorry, guess what we're going to see? We're going to see a change in the behavior, change in his language, change in the way he does reporting, change about his racist approach to everything. There will be a change. And if you don't see a change, you can be honest with yourself. They're not sorry. They're not sorry. They are sorry that they got caught. They're not sorry because they were wrong. They are sorry because of a defamation lawsuit that is pending. They're not sorry because what I did was wrong. No, I don't believe that. Anyway, that's my position on that. Share your thought and perspective with me. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.